What is happening, people? Welcome back to another powerful episode of Marketing by Design. This episode is going to be a recording of my business recap from September 2025. If you guys don't know, for the past 16 or 18 months or something like that, I record a transparent look of how my business is performing, and I throw it up on YouTube. I do this at the end of every single month. In this video, you're going to see my transparent look at the profit, loss, things that I'm investing in, things that I'm excited about, what I'm thinking of allocating different resources towards within the business, how much money I'm making, how much money I'm losing, exciting projects, lead generation activities, things like that. I highly recommend you guys have some kind of a financial or reflection practice in place like this for your business. And this is something that I wish I had and I did have, seeing other people, other entrepreneurs, how they're thinking about their companies. And it's just a very productive habit to get into. So if you're slightly behind me in terms of business growth, you're slightly ahead of me, maybe this will spark some thoughts in terms of what you're thinking about in your own business. So again, hope you guys enjoy. I'll drop the link to the video version that you can go over and hop over to on YouTube. But let's jump right into the retro. Again, this is entry 121 of the podcast. Let's dive on in. Hello and welcome. It is October 1st, which means it is time for my September retro. If you guys are new here, my name is Andy. I'm the founder of MMG Design. My monthly retro is my monthly habit where I go in and I assess everything with the business. We talk about profit, loss, revenue, wins, losses, what's working, what is not working, more importantly, and we set our actions for the month moving forward. So this is September of 2025. Without further ado, let's dive straight in. So we're going to start right here in Notion where I track everything from a high level perspective. As you can see, we've been tracking since, where is that? February 24th last year, so of 2024. So pretty rewarding to see the business revenue slowly increase month over month. And obviously we have some dips and drops in between there, but yeah, so diving into, we're going to open up the September 2025 page and go through. We had 6 paying clients, so 6 active accounts. Top line business revenue was $19,440, so a good month of revenue. If we look back again, it's actually one of our best months of the year, but not our best, second best month of the year, second to June of this year. So that's a win. Business expenses was also our highest of the year, which makes sense because we did outsource a couple of projects and we had a very special event that we're going to talk about that I invested heavily in. Paid a photographer and videographer and a events management space to do that. So business expenses topped out at $3,106 for September. Personal income, $410. This was from dividend payments that, come in from our investments and other accounts. Those came in this month. Personal expenses, $1,294. That consists of gas, groceries, and life stuff like haircuts, and anything else that comes up. So trying to keep that as lean as possible. Everything that I make for the rest of the year is going towards a down payment on the duplex in Columbus. So we're really hustling in the business. We're really staying lean and we have our priorities clear and set. LinkedIn followers, 55,438, which month over month is about a 200 follower increase from what you're seeing right here, which is about average month over month. Averaging about 200 new followers per month. It's actually really consistent at that growth rate. Interesting. I wonder if there's anything we can do to accelerate that a little bit. Our mailing list size is 268, so we added 9 new subscribers this month. Not great. And since the top of the year, we've grown 100 in total. Not even 100 in total since the start of this year. And in total for LinkedIn, we have gained about 2,000 followers, which not great. And as you'll see, we haven't not been putting in the inputs to generate the results that we want in terms of audience growth. So that is why that is happening. Yeah. Accountability on my front there. So that's from a revenue perspective. I'm going to dive into Google Sheets here to where we do our cash flow analysis. We have confidential information blocked out here. But this is the 925. You're going to see our recurring. So these are our contract-based monthly recurring for Webflow site projects. These total now, we just add another retainer client here this month, who is going to be under contract till the end of the year for 500 a month right there. But in terms of month over month recurring revenue, we are just over 5,000. And in project-based work this month, we netted 15,000. So we had 2 website kickoffs, which are these 2 payments of 2,500 and 2,400, and 1 monthly. Actually, we do have a recurring client here. This client right here is retainer now until the end of the year. So that is good. So actually in recurring, we have 15,000, and in project work, we had 5,000. Really big difference there. Recurring revenue, we have 15,000, and project work, we had 4,900 this month. In terms of contractor labor, we had, and this is where I go in. These are 2 developers, Ali and Clark, and these are the projects that they're assigned to. So I can go into the way I do this every month is I'll go into our timesheet tracker right here in Moxie. I delegate tasks in this, and I tie them to our client projects. So basically what I do is I go in and create a task for them. They can clock in on the task, and I can set these filters by the client. And when I go and add these up, I can add these up by how much hours they spent and how much they put towards each client. So I can start to see, okay, this client is paying us XYZ per month. Does it make sense to invest as much into their site and into their maintenance, or should I do more of it myself to see how we're cash flowing? A really good presentation. So like I said, we had the 500 one-off expense for the photography and pictures. And then between contractor labor on site dev projects, we were at about $500, which is not bad. So we have a lot of breathing room we can invest, which is good to know, because I felt like this month I was spending a lot. Like I was assigning a lot of projects to the developers, and it's good to know that I have breathing room and I should continue to be bullish and invested in on it. Each month we have about 200 in recurring expenses, and we'll drill down and I'll show you guys what each of those are. But for the developers, we paid about 500. And then for this, the very exciting expense is we had a very special podcast episode with the one and only Jay Klaus, and we rented out a studio, hired photographers, hired videographers, and hired a whole team to make that special. So that's where that extra 500 went into there, and some of this gap in terms of what you're seeing that matches Notion that makes it not match Notion is because there is some one-off differences, like with the building and things like that aren't client facing. So like renting out the podcast studio, not included in here. So it's not technically contractor labor. So anyway, I digress, but this month the business was profitable, and our cash position has increased from under 6 figures to over 6 figures. And this is our projected rate of growth at the current rate. So yeah, I like the way we're sitting. Good month in the business and some aspirational things moving forward. So these right here, these italic and bold numbers, this is contract bound project-based work until the end of the year. But I have not added it into our totals, so these don't populate in our spreadsheet. But this is just kind of see, okay, we can expect this payment for this milestone here. We're moving forwards with that, so I just know when it's going to come, and I can roughly estimate when our projects are going to close and when things are happening. So as you can see, next month is going to be a lot of project work. We'll talk about that with the sites that we're launching, and everything that's going on from a project perspective. But a really cool thing that I wanted to show you guys in Monarch Money, I'll reposition the camera here so I can see the screen, is our cash flow. So this is a really cool way we can kind of start to see, okay, where are we investing into the business? And we can have like this, I don't know what it's called, bar chart. So you saw where all our expenses and where all of our income is coming from.
we also see the more helpful ways that we can start to see which softwares and tools come out of our monthly expenses for the business. So like I said, total expenditure in the business, you can see cash flow, total expenditure, $3,100, savings rate of 84%, expenses, 3,100, income, 19,635. And we can see Remitly, that is our contractor labor, so $800 there. Business ship creator science, we invested $600 to enjoy the lab, which is Jay Klaus's community group. PayPal of $500, that was for contractor labor as well. Webflow, that was this one-off recurring yearly subscription that happens for our freelancer workspace that we host all of our client sites on, so that was a yearly payment. Senja, which is an awesome software tool that I started using this month. By the way, Senja is just the best thing, coolest thing ever. I highly recommend you guys use Senja to up the social proof and testimonials on your website. For example, we go to my website now. I absolutely love this so much. And this is all loading right now. There we go. But this little pop-up right here, this is Senja. You can instantly see our testimonials, our best ones, and they all populate right here. You can set filters and tags on where they appear on your website, which is just mind-blowing to me of how gorgeous it is. Look at how pretty this is, you know? You can click into each testimonial. You can go straight to the source. Boom. This has absolutely been a home run. Boom. A really good testimonial we got from Dan this month. Already contributed more to our web capabilities than our previous firm had in our previous 3 to 6 months. So really cool. I love Senja. That was a yearly payment for $300, which was 100% worth it. This $70, $80 for renting out the Brick House Blue podcast studio. $300 for Framer hosting, which is a yearly payment we launched 2 Framer websites this month. So that's where that all came from. Adobe Podmatch, we paid $38. This is a monthly subscription. Adobe paid $38. That is for another software tool. Globia, so we bought Lee Densmer's book, which is a really cool thing we got to do. We also got to have her on the podcast. Riverside, $30 a month. Shutterstock, who's our stock image platform for websites, $25. OpenAI, $20 of expense. Workflow.design, this is our website feedback tool. That was $20 per month. Google Workspace, $20 per month. Whisperflow, $15 per month. And transaction fees, $6 per month. So in total, all of those add up to $3,112 for our business expenses. And you can see all of our recurring payments that we use to operate our business right there. And I love this dashboard view too, by the way. You can also, here in Monarch Money, you can make it a Sankey diagram. So you can see all the income sources and then all the outcome sources, I guess, or expense sources. I love Monarch Money. Huge, very bullish on it. Highly recommend you guys try it for yourself. So that was the business overview and the spreadsheets that I usually review every month. Now I'm going to go back to Notion so we can go over some of the wins and losses from this month from a life and business perspective. Also, one thing I did forget to mention, we have an accounts receivable of $1,250 for work completed. This is a recurring subscription. That was not paid this month, so that'll be shown in next month's revenue report. Okay, wins and losses from wins from the business and life side, because we got to start with the wins. So business, we broke ground on the AMA Columbus website, which I am super stoked and excited about. But in terms of resource allocation, it's been really hard to allocate the time towards it. I've been toiling because I just want to spend all my time on it, but I haven't in over a week now just because of, again, resource constraints in the business time. And I can make that excuse. Like, I had time tonight. I really procrastinated on recording this retro because I didn't want to do it. But now I'm here and we're doing it. So again, I'm really, really excited about the AMA Columbus site. This is a pro bono project from my company to the AMA. So while Figma gets its shit together, I'll show you guys more, but this is going to be the best AMA Columbus webs. This is going to be the best AMA website of any other AMA chapter in the entire country. And I say that not lightly because I know it's going to be true. But yeah, I'm so excited. It's so on brand. It's so modern, stunning. All these videos and photos I've taken. It's going to be an awesome event page with the CMS. Really cool photos, really cool messaging. Really cool. I might read you this section here, but I made a post about this week for Instagram that absolutely crushed. A lot of people had positive feedback on the site and the design so far. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome little project, and that was a win to get this started. We still have a couple more unique pages to build in this, but we're on the right track. It just takes time. Just like anything else, just takes time. Another win, high month in revenue, second highest of the year. We got good feedbacks from the Vibrix team for the work we're doing for them. We now meet with them twice a week, once on Mondays, one on Fridays. So we're getting really ingrained with their team, adding a lot of value, and they are appreciating the work. We kicked off a new site dev project for Exact Medicare. And I've been looking forward to this one for a really long time. They just emailed me earlier today that we now have, they've dropped in their assets into our Drive folder to get the project started. So that'll start our timeline as of probably the end of this week. So really looking forward to getting creative with design on that one. That'll be a fun little Webflow build. Another whim on the business front, we joined the lab, which I'm super stoked about. It was a lot of fun. So I initially applied for the standard tier of the lab and did not get accepted because, as you guys can see, my income is all service-based revenue, and you need to have content-based revenue. So again, we need to get to 5 figures in content-based revenue for the business, and that's in sponsorships, creative partnerships, and we need to get that figure up. So it's a good kick in the pants too. We end up joining the basic tier, which is $600 a year. And I've been, engaging with the members in there, talking to people and having a great time, watching a lot of the workshops and courses that are in there. And yeah, just enjoying my time. Our podcast with Brian on Draco aired this month. And I was super stoked about this. I was super excited to share this. I'll show you guys the podcast show notes page, but this is probably the biggest podcast I've ever been on. When I posted about it, I got a really good response, and Brian is just a man. Like, he was absolutely the best host of giving my literal home run interview, like something that I want to share at my funeral. That's how good it was. Here's the show notes page. I was the second episode of the year. We had just an amazing conversation. I reshared some clips of it to Instagram or LinkedIn this morning. I'm really glad I did. I'm really glad I went on. Got some really good feedback from it. And yeah, I re-aired it on the Marketing by Design feed today actually as well. So really cool interview there. That's definitely a win for the business. Back to Notion. We had probably the biggest one of the month here. We had our episode with Jay Klaus, and something I have been looking forward to for a very, very long time. Been a huge fan of Jay's content for ages, been following him, he's the reason I started doing these monthly retros right here. So a big personal inspiration of mine and a really fulfilling moment. And by the way, Eric Zabrowski, the photographer and video team I hired, absolutely knocked the photos out of the park, like unreal. I'll even show you guys some of the assets if I have them loaded here. Like, this was an absolute dream come true. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't sleep at all the night beforehand. I actually have them pulled up on LinkedIn, so I'll bring up some more of the photos. And also the post I made about it the next day, just absolutely cranked. And Jay left a testimonial on Senja as well. So apparently nothing wants to load today. So after I hit refresh on this 3 times and click into my profile, our post on Monday, I posted 3 or 4 of the photos from the podcast with Jay And let me close my messages here. Tweet and thank you. But yeah, the podcast with Jay, go to that post. Absolutely exploded. The post did. So here it is, all the emotions all at once. 2,000 impressions, 109 likes, 91 comments, and 2 reposts. That's pretty good for me. And you can see like the comments are really cool. Jay himself commented on it. This was one of the highlights of my entire year, right here. This, and I'm getting emotional even talking about it. This meant so much to me, and the fact that the photos turned out so good, I mean, I did get emotional when I saw them for the first time, and just this such a full circle moment for me. And I shared here in this post how Jay helped me get started, and is a big role in my own story, and this was nothing short of a dream come true for me. So, yeah, a big win this month with the podcast. And he also left a testimonial on the show, said the amount of prep, effort, and care you put into this was evident. You're on the path. Yeah, that was really special. God, I'm going to move on. But again, back to Senja. Jay did leave a testimonial for the show, which is really cool, and I'm glad I did. I have a small gift to mail him here coming up soon for being a guest, thanking him. That's literally him right there on the Senja website that I'm now logging into. But yeah, we can look at something that I also did do was I set up a testimonial feedback form for, we left one today. Cool. Andy's an open and affable host who asks great questions and generally engages with the answers. It was a lot of fun. Cool. Awesome. I wish I would get notifications for these because I have to remind myself of these, but I absolutely love this. Like I said, I just downloaded this tool this month. I already have 34 testimonials I've added in here. I've segmented them, some for the podcast, some for the AMA website that we're building, and others just for my company that appear on our own website. Yeah, the testimony Jay left. Andy was an excellent host, well prepared, thoughtful, and completely focused on making good use of the time for his audience. I felt well cared for as a guest, and was glad to have taken the time. A couple more testimonials on the show. I dare you to find a better, more engaging host than Andy. My podcast interview with him felt like talking to a friend. I even forgot we were recording at some point. He has an uncanny way of making me feel at ease, and at the same time, ask insightful questions and make a great podcast. Oh, okay. I need to stop hyping myself up. But those were the wins for this month. Getting testimonials and the best podcast I've ever had in my entire life. So those were the wins from a business standpoint. So yeah, wins from a life standpoint. I'm gaining weight, which is a good thing. I am a tall, skinny dude, and I want to fill in my frame a little bit. I've always had a bit of a problem with eating. But there is a bad news side of this, and the reason I'm gaining weight is not in a healthy way. It's because I'm binge eating a lot because of stress, because of the mindset and procrastination that I'm bringing to the business, and it has been a perpetuating bad cycle. But the win is positive that I'm gaining weight. We have recorded a lot of podcasts in September. If I go through, I even forgot to add one here, and that was the Jeffrey Risner episode. So in total this month, we had Jason Vanderveer, Meredith from Compression Marketing from the AMA, Tass Bober, whose episode is coming out next Tuesday. That's going to be an awesome episode. Jeffrey Risner, Andy Crestadina, Lee Judge, 2 podcasts with Mark Szymanski, and we had a live stream today, but it was the 1st of October, so if you're here. Jay Klaus, Michelle Bourbonier, and Lee Densmer. How about that freaking month of podcasting, guys? We recorded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 podcasts, and we guested on one. And one came out, the Brian one. So we are leveling up from a podcasting perspective. I enjoyed each and every one of these wholeheartedly. and I cannot wait to get to editing. These are the people that we had coffee chats with. I won't go over all of these, but these were all super fun. Now on to the losses from a business standpoint. Business, we were stretched pretty thin. I mentioned to you guys I have episodes of just outbursts in terms of my emotions sometimes. I feel like I am not accountable to the actions that I set forth for myself. A lot of times I don't follow the calendar rigidly, which is not a good habit. And the moment you start to disintegrate the relationship between what you said you were going to do and what you actually do, that's when you start to lose trust and faith in yourself. And I went on a bit of a downhill spiral, especially tonight, where I got home early from the gym. I had a lot of momentum, and I just could not lock back in and get back to work. And now I feel very behind. So I'm going to wrap up this retro pretty closely, get onto our goals for next month. Lack of attentiveness to messages and follow-ups. I straight up have not been accountable to just going on a walk or batching an hour and saying, I am going to respond to all of these emails. For some reason, I just have not done it. And those are podcast guests. Those are potential leads that I just have not followed up on and have not been accountable to. So that's the dealio here. Why do I not do that? Why do I not just respond to messages right away? Why not? Seems obvious, right? Just don't do it. Just let it linger in my mind and don't get back to it. So good action items, things to be accountable for in October. Poor communication with contractors leading to twice done work. This happened twice this month, and it is 100% my fault. I do not communicate clearly. I do not take the time to write out a clear task for the developers or for the design, and we end up going back and forth and wasting a lot of time. It's very frustrating, and it is nobody's fault but my own. So those were the losses from a business standpoint. Life-wise, really lonely at times, spending a lot of time alone. I have talked to one person in person today, and that was my mom this morning. So yeah, you just, by nature of what you do, running a solo location independent business, you spend a lot of time not talking to people physically. That is why tomorrow I have 4 in-person meetings scheduled on the calendar. I'm super stoked for meeting Allison, Paula, Morgan, Murdoch from Cohatch. We're going to Columbus. So it's going to be a good day tomorrow. I'll get on my show a little bit. I haven't been accountable to house search or mortgage process at all. Case in point, tonight I had extra time and I just procrastinated, doom scrolled, and put off recording this episode until the very last minute. It's almost 10 o'clock right now. I'm very tired now. Early morning tomorrow, and just was not accountable to diving in and accelerating the mortgage process. So we are approved for a FHA loan. I haven't been approved yet because I haven't gotten the information that I need to get to the mortgage lender to then be able to approve me for the loan and also get a cosigner and see what our rates are. Just didn't do it. I also need to open a new bank account, high yield savings for everything that I plan to invest into the house. So I have a couple questions to ask my CPA about for mitigating tax burdens and seeing what that impact that could have on tax time, transferring that money out of the business into a high yield savings account. What does that mean? I've just been putting it off, So again, accountable. Lack of discipline. That's what everything comes down to. Why did I not do the things I said I was going to do? Great question. So things we can definitely improve on for next month. Action items and goals. This is the real right here. Business goals. Dedicated marketing time. Batch an hour on your calendar to respond to these loose threads and ease that anxiety of yours. That's simple. 1 hour. Go in and clear all those emails. Compressed content creation time. What am I doing? Repurpose. I spend my entire weekends making content when I should be doing client work. Why am I doing so much fulfillment? Why? We just saw that I have an 4% profit margin in my business. Why am I not outsourcing more? Why am I not looking for more contractors? Why am I not sending our developers more work? Why do I not just hire them on retainer? Great question. That's what I should do. Record 1 YouTube video per month. I have been dodging getting on camera. I am super stoked and glad that I stayed accountable to recording this retro today. And I will say firsthand, if the audio for this did not record, I am going to cry because it's been 30 minutes now. And I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about that, but I think we should be okay. Tidy up podcasting schedule, get it together. I have no fewer than... You guys ready for this Riverside backlog? Are you guys ready for this right now? To see how many projects we have in Riverside, how many podcasts we have in Riverside, unedited, that we have a cadence of. Are you ready for this right now? Go to projects. Okay, let's see. Unedited podcast recordings. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, that one's published, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. That one's a repurposed one. 33. 33 podcast episodes to edit. And Jay Klaus's 34. Okay, solutions. What can we do? We can start to publish twice per week. We can create the content schedule. So if you guys don't know, I also manage my content here in Notion. So if we go to my master content planner, I have the next couple weeks planned out tentatively from a podcast perspective. Next week is Chris Silvestri. The week after that, Jason Vanderveer. Actually, no. These are all pushed back. So Vanderveer is going to be that week. Tass Bober is next week. And Chris Silvestri is the week after that. Then Jason Vanderveer. So we have a little bit of allocation to do, as you can see. But 33 weeks is how many months? 8 months. We have 8 months of the podcast booked out. What am I doing? I'm so glad. Like, I don't have to worry about getting a guest on for a long time. But the bad news is that it's not a great look from a guest perspective to have such a big lag time. So I'm always flexible with the upload dates, but I need to be accountable to getting production ahead of schedule. And I also have just a ton of content that I can now revisit from here. Like, why am I not repurposing some of these clips for social? Which then goes back to our main goals here of being more efficient with my content creation time. Why am I not repurposing more? Why am I not doing that? Great question. Let's go back to the retro dashboard here. Okay, last thing, closing this off strong. Dedicated content creation time, record 1 video, tidy up podcasting schedule, and we have 3 website launches slated for this month: Darwin Technologies and Stratford. Can't wait to post about those. Can't wait to get these out of there. It's going to be a great month from a website building perspective, website launching perspective. These are all 3 Webflow sites as well, so super duper stoked for this. Goals from a life standpoint: go first. Manually check in on 3 people. Something Jay talked about and the power of building trust is like taking the initiative to go first. Reach back out to people, scroll back to the bottom of your inbox, and just invite a conversation. Stay top of mind. Check in with people. Going first, unprompted, is a very positive signal. Want to start being more consistent with daily walks. I stopped doing that. I want to have 30 gym sessions, which I've been accountable for. So that's 1 every day. That's something I will always be accountable for. Just a easy thing to do for me. Whether or not it's a productive workout, I'll always do it. Daily LinkedIn posts, this won't be a problem. And the big one, getting approved for loans. Doing the actual action items it takes to generate the results that I want to get. And that means diving in, that means learning, that means not procrastinating, and that means getting approved for that loan. Because life will not push me towards Columbus unless I consciously push my ass to where I want my heart to be. And that's Columbus. The next step in that looks like visiting more properties. It looks like setting up the bank account. It looks like investing the time to make it happen. What happened to me? Life you have to go out and get. So yeah, that is the monthly retro for September of 2025. Went on a little bit long, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this was helpful. This is the kind of content that I wished I had, and I did get from Jay, as we mentioned. But seeing how other people are operating their businesses, their wins, their losses, what they're changing, this is a very productive habit for me, and I highly recommend you implement something in your business strategy as well. That was September, and I will see you guys next month for October. Peace.